Hello and welcome to my December wrap-up. I can't believe it's the last one of the year. I read 6 books in December. I'm filming this on the 30th, so if I read a book today or tomorrow, sorry, it's not counted. But 6 books is a pretty good month for me. Let's get into what I read. The first book I read this month was recommended to me by a friend, and it was a great recommendation. I loved this book, and that is So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. I listened to the audiobook of this book, and I listened to it in like a single sitting, one afternoon and evening. It was so lovely. It was a tropey fantasy romance. Honestly, it was so good. I feel like a broken record just saying it's so good, but it was exactly what I needed in that moment. The story basically follows the aftermath of a quest. What happens once the big bad is gone and the kingdom needs to be ruled. This book felt like fanfiction in the best way possible. I know a lot of people use that to talk down to a story, but I think there are a lot of kind of tropes of fanfiction that work so well for a story, and this is definitely like the perfect case. It was fast-paced and super fun and had the most wonderful found family. It definitely had like D&D vibes, which I think is always fun, but it was just a great time. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is Imogen Obviously by Becky Albertalli. I started reading this book physically, but frankly was really tired and wanted to close my eyes, and so I borrowed the audiobook from the library and listened to it on there. I also gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. There is a relationship dynamic in this book between friends that felt like a slap in the face. Like, it is something that I think most people have experienced, the kind of souring of a friendship and the kind of reevaluation of the time you spent together. This is the kind of book that if I read it in high school, it would have like blown my mind. It's definitely young adult, it's for a bit of a younger audience than I am, but I still really loved it. I think Becky Albertalli just kind of always hits. I think you could see a lot of the, not bitterness, but kind of anger that Becky Albertalli must have had after the kind of outing that occurred. Like rightful anger, to be fair. But yeah, I think this book was almost her way of processing that entire experience. But yeah, this book was great. Imogen obviously follows Imogen, who is the world's greatest ally until she realizes she might not just be an ally. I love when books have text messages. I know that's a thing some people hate, but I really enjoy like fast-paced kind of dialogue, and texts just work really well for that. I have this thing where I can't really fall asleep without noise, but not like white noise. It needs to be like someone talking. I find myself switching between sleepcasts, podcasts, and audiobooks, and this month I definitely spent a lot of time listening to audiobooks to fall asleep. So these next 3 books I'm going to just pair together, and that is the Carry On series by Rainbow Rowell. I didn't plan on rereading this series. To me, this series is kind of just fine. It's not my favorite thing, but the audiobooks were available to me, and so I just kind of put it on one night to fall asleep. And then I finished the first one, so I put on the second one. And I finished the second one, so I put on the third one. In terms of my ratings, I rate Carry On 3.5 stars, Wayward Son 3 stars, and Any Way the Wind Blows 3 stars. I don't love this series, but I have fun with it. I do like the idea that the author basically looked at Harry and Draco and said, they're canon now, and wrote a book about it, because like, I feel like we've all been there. This book feels exactly like fanfiction that gets published, because I think it is. And I know that like in the world of Rainbow Rowell, you've got Fangirl, and the fact that Simon and Baz are characters in that, but I think that furthers the fact that it's fanfiction. And I know it's not a direct comparison to Harry and Draco, but like the vibes are there, the enemies to lovers, the magic school of it all. So yeah, I listened to that series on audiobook. It's not my favorite thing, it's not the greatest series ever, but it is pretty fun, so there's that. I do like that the series looks at what happens to the hero after the story is done. That's something I've always been quite interested in, and like seeing Simon Snow like be traumatized and really struggle to kind of adjust to normal life, that's really interesting. But yes, moving on. The last book I read this month was volume 5 of Heartstopper. I had already read it because I follow the webcomic, but I always love to pick up the latest edition. I love the orange spine. I don't know how I feel about how it goes with the rest of them because the last one was yellow, but it's fine. I love all of Alice Ozen's work, and I love Nick and Charlie, and so I'm always excited about a little more Heartstopper. I think one of the joys of Heartstopper is that yes, it's about Nick and Charlie, but it's also about the side characters, and the little bits we get about each of them are always so fun. Seeing Tori is always a joy, seeing Aled is always good, and Michael Holden is one of those characters that just has a very special place in my heart. This is maybe a tangent, but they cast Michael for the show and I'm wildly excited about it. I can't believe we're gonna see like Tori and Michael together. Crazy. I'm so excited. But yes, this is the last book that I finished in December. I'm in the middle of a bunch of books right now and I just am not finishing anything. I was very excited though. I hit my goal of reading 50 books for the year, so I'm very happy, and I think because I hit that, I slowed down reading. It's like I'm giving myself a break, even though I really enjoy reading, but yes. So that's all for today. Those were the books that I read in December. I think I had a pretty good reading month. I'm really excited for the new year and all of my new reading goals. But that's all from me today. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite book that you read in December was. I upload twice a week, so you can subscribe to see my future videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.